they gave me this topic, I was like, okay, I just look at what some of the saints had to say about this. And so I went and looked back. Some of the great saints like St. Augustine, St. Avila, many more had great things to say about this. And they basically said like, it's the most important thing you can do. So I was like, well, that's a great start. I'm gonna have my work cut out for me. And basically, my topic is prayer. I'm gonna write that down, right? Okay. And underline it 3 times. So prayer. Basically, St. Teresa of Avila once said that she wished she could go on top of the highest mountain in the whole world and shout to the whole earth, pray, pray, pray. That's all she said, 3 words. And basically, as I've said before, even after I give you this talk, the most important thing you can remember to do is that you need to actually pray. You need to take time every single day to give prayer to God, because we need it. St. Augustine said that there is a God-shaped hole in every one of our this came my way, sorry. There's a God-shaped hole in our hearts. And the only way to fill it is, well, it's a God-shaped hole, so we need God. And the way if that is, you develop a friendship with God. If you develop friendship with people, you need conversation. And that's what prayer is. I want to tell you guys, like, prayer is a great way to give yourselves a conversation with God. And so, many people would say that, like a fish cannot live without water, the human soul cannot live without prayer. But just as water, like a cold glass of water on like a hot summer's day, you'd probably consider that like a gift. So is prayer. You should look at it as a gift from God to the human race. Because, I mean, Adam and Eve, like, before they fell, they could walk in the garden right next to God. Like, God would be like walking side by side with them. This way, over that way. Not over the wire though. And then they could just like talk to him like as friends. But after the fall, after sin, like we don't have that same face-to-face conversation with God as we are now here on earth. In heaven we will. But here on earth, we can still converse with God through prayer. And that's the best way to develop a friendship with anyone, like just your friends that you know, to have a conversation with them, to tell them about yourself. Or to tell them about your needs, about your wants, or how you can help each other, then you develop a great friendship. Would most of you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yep. It seems so simple, but a lot of people like really don't invest time in prayer. They don't. We all have this like natural yearning for God, for something greater than us, but we don't take time to put into it, to give prayer to God, to pray and to love Him. Because without prayer, we can't love God, we can't know Him, and we can't live with Him. But with prayer, we follow the path of God, and we get closer and closer and closer every single day of our life through Him. So yeah, prayer as a conversation. Now, there's also another 3 aspects of prayer I want to talk to you guys about. I don't have too much, I mean, I do have time, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to try. So prayer, the first aspect I want to talk about is petition. And I'll draw a person. So this is the type of prayer I'm certain you guys are most familiar with. Like, does anyone know what petition like means? Like, pretty simply. Sorry, your hands.
To ask for something.
Yeah. To ask for something. To ask for help. And so a lot of times when we pray to God in something like, God, can you help me right now? Or, God, I need this right now. Or, God, I'm struggling. Can you put these things in my life to help me out? And this is a great type of prayer. Like, we do this directly to God, to the saints, and we do it for each other, which is another cool part. Because I'm sure many of you guys know that people will ask other people to pray for them. We'll just be like, hey, I'm sick right now. Can you pray for me? This is a really important type of prayer. And it's great because, petition, it also helps us realize that we don't have the power on our own to do what needs to happen. We don't have the power on our own to help ourselves. And as we do more prayer and we petition the saints and God to help us, we realize more and more our reliance on God and how much we need God in our lives and how much we want to have Him come into us more and more. That's prayer as a petition. So if you guys like, I have a story about this too because I will tell you guys, more than anything else, more than like the politics in this world, more than the governments making big decisions, or just big people making big decisions, it's your prayers that change the world. It's your prayers that make things happen. Because that's how God loves to act in the world. He loves to act on your prayers. Now, let me tell you this story, and this happened not too long ago, like sometime, I'm guessing in the past 5 years. I've heard this story. It's a great story. Basically, there was this young couple. So imagine, like, I'm not sure if they were young actually, but there was a couple. and they couldn't have any kids. They were kind of sad about this. But they found out there was this group of nuns, and this group of nuns was asking basically for financial help, because they're nuns and they're poor, so they, they need people to like donate to them. And so they said that if people would help like fund a nun, if people would help like give money to keep a nun like going, they would like pray for whatever intention that person or group of people asked for. So this couple was like, hey, that's a really great idea. And so they found this group of nuns and they said, hey, we'd like to do this. And they were like, okay. And they said, okay, we also want you to pray that we would have a child. We really want one, but we can't have one for whatever reason. This nun said, oh, of course. But just so you know, sometimes you ask God for a garden and he gives you an orchard. And the reason this story shows the power of prayer is because I know that like about a year later, their quadruplets were healthily born for them. Yeah, with prayer, when we pray to God, when we petition Him, ask Him for help, like He will come to our aid. He will help you. And as I said before, this learning about this reliance on God through your petition, like it makes you stronger, especially in your Christian faith. So, this is the first part. Second part. Prayer is also worship. Okay, it's not good handwriting, but it's acceptable. Prayer as worship. Now, this is the one that I think not very many people think about. Most of us don't think of prayer as worship, but that's what worship is. It's a prayer to God. The cool thing about our God is that, like Israel, when they said, like, we have one God, they set themselves apart from many different religions. Because most religions would have, like, a bunch of gods. The thing about these gods is that most of the time, they relied on prayer. They needed prayer of the people in order to gain power. If people weren't praying to them, they would lose power. Like, this is what the Greek gods, like Zeus and all of them were like. And the thing is, when this happened, those gods basically started using humans. Like, the stories they tell of them, like, of the Greek gods, you end up seeing like an abuse of humans because the gods rely on their prayers. But our God, the one God, who is infinite in power, it's not like this. He doesn't need our prayers. Like, our prayers don't change Him, but they change us. And this is why God has given us prayer, because He knows we are the ones who need prayer. We are the ones who need to worship God. Because of this, when we worship God, we find our purpose in life. We find our direction. The most important form of worship that we have as Catholics is the holy sacrifice of the Mass. Every single Sunday, you go there to Mass. You go there, you find God Himself there in the Eucharist. This is in itself, like the entire Mass is a worship of God. And the reason this is the most important form of prayer for all Catholics is because God Himself like breaks the bond, breaks the veil between heaven and earth. Heaven comes into earth during the Mass. And God Himself, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross, He's there at the Mass. Like, He's really, truly there. And it's there where you're worshiping God, that you find the true sense of direction in your life. There, like in the Mass, like we do this every single Sunday, but a lot of people we don't go to it intentionally all the time. We're distracted a lot. But yet at the Mass, where God himself is, that's the time to pray. Like, because Pope St. Pius X, he said that you shouldn't pray at the Holy Mass. You should pray the Holy Mass. Because the whole thing is a prayer in itself. And again, like, you guys are going to be doing this every single Sunday of your lives, hopefully. So it's an important time to realize, like, okay, who am I worshiping? Like, how do I pray? And how do I, like, let myself let go of distractions and realize who my God is? And, like, that's when you can, like, give yourself up to him. And you can, like, realize, like, and you can say, yes, you are my God. I worship you because you are so infinite and so good to me. I thank you for, like, creating me and dying on the cross for me. So, yeah, that was the second one. Now we'll go to the third one. Petition, worship, and now action. Okay. Doing pretty well so far. Action. So, St. Paul, in I believe it's there 2 Corinthians, he says in the Bible definitely, like probably multiple times, that you should pray constantly. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I first heard that, I thought, that sounds pretty much impossible. I don't know how you can like pray constantly. Because when you think about prayer, you most often think of getting down on your knees and praying to God, and that's a great form of prayer. We should like strive to do that every single day. But to pray constantly, like, how do I do that? So prayer as action. This aspect of prayer that I tell you is like, it's the key to unlocking the door to how to pray constantly. Because every action we take can be offered up to God. And basically, the only action I can think of that wouldn't fit into this aspect is sin. But we want to avoid sin and like, I never to sin. So we put that in its own thing. But every good action you do, or even simple actions, you can offer them up to God. Like whenever you like do your school homework, or wherever you do chores at home, like clean dishes or sweep the floor, wherever you like be kind to a friend, those are activities that you can offer up to God in a prayer. You can make your actions prayer itself. Because I know, like many of us, like including myself, of course, it's hard to find time to pray. It's hard to like be intentional about praying. But one way you can like help yourselves grow in prayer and grow in your love of God, it's like offer up simply like those little actions throughout your daily life. You can be like, you know, God, like I helped out this person today. I'm going to offer that up to you. And that is in itself a prayer. And it's a great form of prayer because like, God sees your love for your fellow mankind, or God just sees how you want to offer everything you do up to him. And like, and that again, it grows that bond of friendship with you and God. Yeah. So that's like why prayer as an action is really important to do. It helps you like learn how every step you take, how every breath you take can be used for God's purpose. Or just, you can just give yourself up to God in your actions, and then he will use you much more as his instrument. That's why it's really important to remember petition and worship, and then action. Try to do all three of these as much as you can. Now there's another, I want to put in this category, but there's also another aspect of prayer I'll tell you. Prayer has, okay, word is shaky. Prayer has a battle. I should have wrote that in. Yeah. Okay, so prayer as a battle. Now the story I have behind this one from pretty recent times, from basically sometime last year, the Bishop of Nigeria told the world about a vision he had. Here's what happened. So the Bishop of Nigeria, and his country right now is experiencing a lot of like trouble, because there's like some really bad terrorist groups that are like wreaking pretty bad havoc in this country. And so one time though, this bishop was praying in the chapel. He was praying in the chapel, and he had a vision. And in this vision, like Christ appeared to him holding a sword. Like, I honestly never think of Christ holding a sword, but if I do, like this is what I think of. Basically, like Christ handed out the sword to this bishop. And the bishop like reached out to take it. As soon as the bishop reached out to take the sword turned into the rosary. And then Christ told him, "It's by the power of the rosary that you will defeat the terrorist group and bring peace to your country." That was the vision. Prayer as a battle. Every time you pray, and especially when you pray the Most Holy Rosary, you do battle against the devil and his forces that are trying very, very hard to stop you from praying and just bring havoc into the world. When you pray, you bring the power of Christ and Mary and the saints with you and do battle against Satan. The beautiful thing about this battle, that's already been won. Christ has already defeated Satan. He has already destroyed the powers of his forces. You just need to take hold of that power. Mary, like praying the rosary, Mary in visions to many saints has said that after the holy sacrifice of the Mass, the rosary is her favorite devotion. Because using the rosary in prayer, and using the rosary in prayer, like helps bring about the victory of Christ more fully. Christ's victory is already done in full, but it needs to happen in every single one of our lives. And so when you pray, you bring this victory into your life and into the lives of others in this world. And we need to do this as much as we can. The battle of prayer is it's hard to keep up. Like the battle of prayer doesn't only refer to your battle against Satan, it also refers to the battle within yourself. I'm sure many of you guys were think in your heads, it's hard to pray. And this is a good thing because if you're really starting to realize oh yeah, prayer is hard, that means you're doing it right. You're realizing that you need to pray, and that you have a struggle within yourself. You need a battle against your own laziness that keeps you from doing this prayer. And it's even though we as humans, we know the great rewards that come from things we do, and yet we still have the tendency to just not do them sometimes. I'm sure you guys know, going to school, there's great rewards that come from going to school and doing your own schoolwork. But I'm sure there are many times when you have to drag yourselves to do your schoolwork or something. But the reward is so great, and it's the same with prayer. The reward of prayer, the friendship with God, that is the defeat of Satan and his forces, of bringing peace to the world, is so great. But yet within our own hearts, it's hard for us to do it. But we can. Part of